Good morning. We are standing here in a newly renovated lobby in the Lawrence K. Roos building to highlight how this pandemic has changed the way that we do business. When COVID-19 hit our region in March, all of us were affected in one way or another. Many businesses closed, others were forced to reduce operations, and working from home became a normal practice. For St. Louis County government, we never shut down our services, but we knew we had to come up with new and innovative ways to do business and take care of our customers. For some of those discussions led to the creation of the Customer Service Center, which is the new name for this portion of our lobby. We have created a convenient, safe space where our customers can interact safely with employees and have a one-stop shop for all government services. No longer does a customer have to go up the escalator, go up an elevator to a different floor to complete a task, and then move to another floor to do business with St. Louis County. With this new arrangement, we can keep all of the interactions with St. Louis County government on this floor. This leads to less exposure to others in hallways, less exposure in the elevators, and overall a more efficient way to conduct business. With this renovation, we've removed the long unused escalators that took up a large chunk of real estate right here in this lobby. Those large escalators were surrounded by sheetrock, were walled off, and created security concerns. They distorted the line of sight for our security team and made it more difficult for customers to navigate this space. Given the public health concerns of indoor shared spaces, it made more sense to keep all of the public interactions with St. Louis County government here on the first floor. So the removal of those escalators opened up a shared space so people could avoid waiting. Customers can reduce wait times by making appointments by phone or online, or even if you have a walk-in service, we have restaurant-style buzzers so you can hold your place in line and still maintain social distancing. It's our belief that customer service should be both friendly and safe, and it can be all done together, hand in hand, in one-stop shopping. For those coming to do business with St. Louis County, you'll find that we have a new way of doing business here, new practices. For example, masks are required, and you'll pass through a security checkpoint as part of the process. Hand sanitizer stations are included, and floor signage will help you keep your proper physical distancing from the other people in line. Appointments are encouraged, but not necessary. You can make an appointment online at stlcorona.com/government-services or call 314-615-5000. Plexiglass has been installed at all customer service windows, and meeting rooms are available on this floor by appointment for any service. Those meeting rooms are designed to allow for 6-foot distancing to maintain safety in our communications. Monitors have been placed throughout the lobby to let you know what your wait time is, and we have an increased use of touchscreen so forms can be filled out on computer, and of course the safety and sanitation protocols are maintained for all of our touchscreens. Greeters are available to welcome guests, to answer questions, to help direct you to the right place for a service, but also to help make appointments. And card readers will be installed to access the elevators to help protect the safety and health of our county employees. From July 13th, when we began what we call our soft opening, through August 28th, the average wait time for walk-in customers was reduced from 37 minutes to 24 minutes. During that time, the number of walk-ins increased by 40%, from 474 to 665 last week. Revenue Services represents 80% of the services provided in this building. The busiest days here are Mondays and Fridays, and the shortest wait time is on Thursday. And this is based on a review of all of our data since the soft opening in July. The estimated overall project cost here for this first floor renovation was $565,000. And this was funded primarily through remaining funds from a $29.5 million bond issue for building improvements in St. Louis County. And of course, some of these funds may be eligible for reimbursement through the St. Louis County CARES Act. As we receive customer feedback, we'll continue looking for new ways to provide customer services to our employees in a safe and efficient manner. Thank you, and I would be glad to answer any questions. Any questions, Doug?
I have something that's off topic a little bit. Where do we stand when it comes to youth sports? We've had a lot of parents asking. Where are we at with that?
Well, the St. Louis County is working through youth sports guidelines. We have some recommendations that we're reviewing from private organization here in town that monitors youth sports and makes recommendations, and we'll process those through our public health department to come up with something that is safe. We issued some guidelines that are available on our website for low contact, moderate contact, and full contact sports. We'll continue to try and allow for these activities to continue, especially training and practices, and we'll watch very closely a safe way to conduct any sort of competitions. Always we'll put the health and safety and welfare of our residents in mind, especially our young folks, and we're paying special attention to that 15 to 19-year-old group, which at this point has the highest rate of transmission of COVID in our community.
You're pleased with how things have gone so far with what took place a couple weeks ago?
Well, the number of cases is flattening out and declining slightly. We're seeing much more widespread mask usage in our community, and that's a good sign. And right now we're focused on working with our superintendents and our school districts to find the best pathway for young grade school age kids to get back into an in-classroom setting. We have to make sure that that's safe, that we have a good plan, we have good contingency plans. So we're reviewing the data and having discussions about what that timeline might look like, but we don't have that timeline established yet.
How much time, I guess, has to elapse for kids to be back in the classroom and teachers to get there virtually, I guess, to kind of weigh what's next? Anything timeline-wise?
Well, the first step, of course, one thing that we know about the coronavirus is that it's unpredictable and it's new and we're learning more about it every day. But if this trend continues, if we continue to see widespread mask wearing, then we expect conditions to improve. But the first step will be getting the kids back, grade school kids back in the classroom and watching those trend lines and that infection rate of the 15 to 19-year-olds before we would want to expose that age group to more risk. That's also an age group that traditionally has more success in a virtual setting or an online setting than the younger kids, so we're sensitive to that too.
You talked about a couple weeks ago hoping to hit that 90% threshold of mask compliance. Are we quite there yet? Are we close?
Well, just from observation around the county anecdotally, I think we're pretty close. The Pandemic Task Force has reported that they've been happy with trends in St. Louis County and St. Louis City. Since we instituted our mask mandate, we think that's made a big difference and helped us a great deal. But we do think we're seeing a widespread use, and we need to continue to see widespread use when folks are out and about in St. Louis County to help keep those numbers trending in the right direction and allow us to relax some of our social distancing measures.
Are you seeing fewer and fewer complaints or red flags as it relates to bars and restaurants? I know the first weekend there were quite a few complaints that came into your office. You said some might be duplicates. Are we seeing less and less of that?
Yeah, we're seeing less complaints. I mean, most folks are accepting this. In fact, most of our businesses, most citizens in St. Louis County, they just want to know what the right thing to do is so they can do it. The outliers and the folks that are less interested in following our guidelines and advice are relatively small. We work with everyone. Most of the complaints surrounded confusion and a lack of understanding, and when we communicated more clearly on an individual level of what the expectations are, people are meeting them.
Is that a restriction that in the next couple of weeks will be reviewed as potentially being able to go a little bit more lax on, or do you have a timeline on that for any business owner?
Well, we're watching all of these restrictions and these guidelines closely. We aren't seeing a decline quickly enough in the case rate right now to relax restrictions, but it is moving in the right direction. We're all watching to see what the impact on that infection rate and positivity rate is in our community after the opening of schools, and we see more mixing, especially in that 15 to 19-year-old age group where the infection rate tends to be the greatest. But our first priority will be looking to see if there's a pathway for young kids to be back in an in-classroom setting, because that's where we believe the impact is the greatest. And we're reviewing the data to see if the trend of less risk of infection in that age group holds. And if that's the case, that's where our next focus is going to be.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.